Most men believe attraction is obvious. They think if a woman likes them, she will say it directly, flirt openly, or make it crystal clear. But real life rarely works that way. In reality, attraction often shows itself in much quieter and more subtle ways. A woman may never say the words out loud. She might not send obvious signals through text messages or compliments. Instead, her body language often reveals what her words never do: the way she positions herself, the small movements she makes during conversation, and the areas of her body she feels comfortable exposing can all quietly communicate how she feels about you. The problem is that most men never notice these signals. They are too busy trying to impress, trying to say the perfect line, or trying to decode every message she sends. Meanwhile, the real clues are happening right in front of them. Human beings communicate far more through body language than through speech. When someone feels safe, interested, or emotionally drawn to another person, their body naturally relaxes and opens up. These changes often happen unconsciously, meaning she may not even realize she is doing them. In this video, you are going to discover 5 subtle body language signals that may reveal when a woman feels genuinely comfortable and drawn to you. Pay close attention because the first signal on this list is the most powerful one, and it is the one most men overlook every single day. Before we dive into the specific signals, it is important to understand why body language plays such a powerful role in attraction. Human communication is not limited to words. In fact, a large part of how we express emotions, comfort, and interest happens through nonverbal behavior. Our posture, eye contact, gestures, and even the direction our bodies face can quietly reveal what we are feeling inside. When two people interact, their bodies constantly send signals about how safe or comfortable they feel. If someone feels uncertain or guarded, their body tends to become closed off. You might notice crossed arms, tense shoulders, or physical distance. These are natural protective responses that humans use when they are unsure about a situation. On the other hand, when a person feels relaxed and emotionally comfortable around someone, their body language usually changes. Their posture becomes more open, movements become softer, and they may naturally lean closer during conversation. These small shifts happen automatically because the brain recognizes that the environment feels safe. Attraction often begins with this feeling of comfort and ease. When someone enjoys your presence, their body may unconsciously show signs of openness and attention. These signals are rarely dramatic or obvious, which is why many men overlook them completely. However, it is important to remember that body language should always be viewed in context. One small gesture alone does not reveal everything about someone's feelings, but when several signals appear together, they can provide a much clearer picture of how someone feels in your presence. Now that you understand the psychology behind body language, let's explore the 5 subtle signals that may reveal when a woman feels comfortable and genuinely interested in being around you. One of the most overlooked signals of comfort and trust appears in a place most men never think to watch: the neck. The neck is naturally one of the most sensitive and vulnerable areas of the human body. Because of that, people instinctively protect it when they feel uncomfortable, nervous, or unsure about the person they are interacting with. This reaction happens automatically, without conscious thought. But when someone feels relaxed and emotionally safe around another person, that protective instinct often fades. Their posture becomes softer, and subtle gestures begin to appear during conversation. For example, you might notice a woman slightly tilting her head while listening to you. Sometimes she may move her hair away from her neck or lightly touch that area as she talks. She might lean her head a little to the side when you are speaking or hold eye contact while maintaining that relaxed posture. These small actions are often signs that she feels comfortable in the moment and engaged in the interaction. Her body is not trying to create distance or protection. Instead, it shows ease and openness. Many men dismiss these gestures as simple habits or random movements, but they can carry meaning when they appear alongside other positive signals. When someone feels at ease around you, their body naturally reflects that comfort through relaxed movements and posture. Of course, it is important not to rely on a single signal alone. Body language works best when you observe patterns. If this kind of relaxed behavior appears repeatedly during your interactions, it may indicate that she enjoys your presence and feels genuinely comfortable talking with you. The next signal is something psychologists often refer to as body orientation, and it can reveal a great deal about someone's level of interest and engagement in a conversation. When people feel comfortable with someone, their body naturally begins to face that person. It is a subtle but powerful signal of attention. Instead of turning slightly away or maintaining distance, they align their shoulders and torso toward the individual they are interacting with. You might notice this when a woman turns her body fully toward you during a conversation. Her shoulders relax, her arms are no longer crossed, and her posture becomes more open. She may lean slightly forward when you speak, or angle her body so that she is directly facing you rather than the surrounding environment. These signs often indicate that she is focused on the interaction and feels comfortable staying present in the moment. On the other hand, when someone feels guarded or uninterested, their body language tends to look very different. They might angle their shoulders away, cross their arms tightly, or keep objects such as a bag, phone, or drink positioned between themselves and the other person. These small barriers can create a sense of distance, even during a conversation. But when a woman feels at ease and engaged, those barriers often disappear. Her body opens up, her posture softens, and she naturally faces you during the interaction. This openness does not necessarily mean attraction on its own, but it does indicate that she feels comfortable and willing to engage with you. And when that level of comfort grows, you may begin to notice something even more telling: how she reacts to physical proximity and subtle guidance in shared spaces. Another important signal of comfort appears when two people move through space together. This often happens in everyday situations: walking through a doorway, moving through a crowded room, or standing close while talking. Every person has what psychologists call personal space boundaries. These boundaries are invisible zones that people naturally maintain around themselves, especially with strangers or people they do not fully trust. When someone feels uncertain or uncomfortable, they tend to protect that space by stepping back or creating distance. But when a woman feels relaxed and comfortable around you, those boundaries can become slightly more flexible. For example, imagine walking together through a crowded place. Sometimes a man might lightly guide a woman through a doorway or around people by placing a gentle hand near her back or by simply moving closer to help navigate the space. If she feels uneasy, her reaction will usually be immediate. She might step away, create distance, or shift her body to reestablish that boundary. However, if she remains relaxed and naturally moves with you instead of away from you, it can be a sign that she feels comfortable with your presence and trusts the interaction. The key detail here is her response, not the action itself. Comfort is often reflected through relaxed posture, natural movement, and a lack of tension. It is also important to approach situations like this with respect and awareness. Genuine attraction grows in environments where both people feel safe, respected, and at ease. When that comfort exists, body language often becomes more natural and synchronized, and that leads to another fascinating signal that many experts in human behavior often discuss: the direction of the feet. One of the most fascinating and often overlooked elements of body language is the direction a person's feet are pointing. While people can easily control their facial expressions or the words they say, their feet tend to reveal their true focus and attention. Why? Because feet are usually the last part of the body people think about controlling. They move instinctively, often reflecting where a person truly wants to go or what they are most interested in at that moment. When a woman is fully engaged in a conversation with you, her feet will often point in your direction. This indicates that her attention is centered on you and the interaction you are sharing. Her body is not preparing to leave or shift away. Instead, it is naturally oriented toward you. You might also notice other signs appearing alongside this. For example, she may stand a little closer, mirror your posture, or turn her entire body toward you while talking. These small adjustments happen automatically when someone is genuinely engaged and comfortable. On the other hand, if a person's feet frequently point toward the exit or away from the conversation, it can sometimes suggest that their attention is elsewhere. Perhaps they are distracted, tired, or thinking about leaving soon. However, like all body language signals, this should never be judged in isolation. Context matters. People move their feet for many reasons, so the key is to observe patterns rather than one single moment. When several signals of comfort appear together, open posture, relaxed movements, and feet naturally pointing toward you, it often suggests genuine interest in the interaction. But there is one final signal that often reveals the deepest level of comfort during a conversation. And it appears in something most people never think to observe: the way someone positions their legs when sitting near you. The final signal on this list is often one of the clearest indicators of comfort during a conversation, and it appears in something very simple: the way a person positions their legs when sitting. When people feel tense, uncertain, or guarded, their body naturally tries to protect itself. This often shows through closed body language, such as tightly crossed arms, stiff posture, or legs crossed in a protective way. These positions create a kind of physical barrier that helps people feel safer when they are unsure about the situation or the person they are with. But when someone feels relaxed and comfortable around you, their body language usually begins to open up. For example, when a woman is sitting near you and feels at ease, you may notice that her posture becomes more relaxed. Her legs may rest naturally instead of being tightly crossed, and her knees might angle slightly toward you during conversation. These small details can suggest that she is comfortable sharing the space and engaged in the interaction. Another sign of comfort is when her posture appears natural and unforced. Instead of shifting away or creating distance, she remains present in the conversation and physically oriented toward you. These behaviors often happen unconsciously because the brain senses that the environment feels safe. However, it is important to remember that no single signal should be treated as a guarantee of attraction. Human behavior is complex, and body language can be influenced by many factors such as mood, environment, or personality. The real key is observing clusters of signals. When relaxed posture, open body orientation, engaged eye contact, and attentive conversation appear together, they can reveal that a person feels genuinely comfortable and interested in the interaction. And that leads us to something many men misunderstand completely: the biggest mistake people make when trying to read these signals. One of the most common mistakes men make when trying to read body language is overanalyzing single gestures. They notice one movement, a smile, a head tilt, or a leg angle, and immediately assume it means attraction. The truth is, context matters far more than isolated signals. A single gesture can be casual, habitual, or simply a reflection of comfort in the moment. Another mistake is ignoring patterns. Real insights come from observing multiple signals appearing together consistently over time. Open posture, relaxed movements, consistent eye contact, and attention in conversation are far more reliable indicators than any one isolated action. Many men also fall into the trap of acting too quickly. They see a signal they think indicates interest and immediately try to push for closeness, compliments, or emotional intimacy. This often backfires because attraction and trust grow gradually. Trying to force the interaction can make someone feel pressured and uncomfortable, even if they were initially open. Finally, some men rely only on words, believing what a woman says is the ultimate truth. Yet people often say things they don't fully mean, either to be polite, cautious, or playful. Body language, when interpreted correctly and in context, often tells the more accurate story. The key takeaway: watch, observe, and respect. Use body language to guide your awareness, not to rush the connection. True attraction grows naturally when both people feel safe, comfortable, and confident. To wrap things up, the most important lesson from these 5 body language signals is that attraction is rarely loud or obvious. It often appears in subtle, almost unconscious ways, through comfort, openness, and attention. The key is learning to observe, interpret, and respond appropriately. When you pay attention to these signals, you no longer need to guess or overthink every interaction. You start noticing patterns. When someone faces you, relaxes their posture, or naturally aligns their body toward you, it's a clear indication they feel safe and engaged. These cues are far more honest than words alone because they are largely unconscious. But awareness is only part of the equation. Confidence and self-respect are just as important. Observing body language is useful, but the way you carry yourself, maintain boundaries, and interact respectfully ultimately determines the outcome of any interaction. Attraction grows when both people feel comfortable and valued, not when one person is trying to decode or manipulate the other. So the next time you are in a conversation, slow down, watch closely, and notice the signals your partner is giving naturally. Don't rush. Let the connection develop organically. When you combine awareness with confidence, you create an environment where genuine attraction can flourish. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe for more insights into human behavior and relationships, and check out the next video for even more practical tips on understanding and connecting with people.